I hate to disappoint you, but those are not real lions. I must say, this study of the stars is definitely contorting my cognitive capabilities of connecting dots to dots and noticing nebula patterns. That is fair. How about, instead of looking at patterns in an ancient narrative, let us look at something more modern and something close to my home. We will roll the clock forward from the time of Noah back to the present day. I want to show you the cities where my grandparents and parents grew up. Several cities in British Columbia often inherit an overarching name, that is, Vancouver. Previous family generations were engineers, on trains, on intercontinental ships, and at renowned fishing canneries like Steveston. Down on the coast, these small villages have slowly morphed into a massive urban sprawl. These cities became an awe-inspiring playground for our family holidays, offering a plethora of enchanting sights, beckoning us to embark on many adventures. Now, those who abide in Vancouver and their surrounding cities are all familiar with the majestic mountains that loom above North Van. Within this mountain range, you can find a pair of peaks that resemble a silhouette of two lions resting. A good majority of the population of 2 million plus people will know what you're talking about if you mention the lions. So, why do we bring up these mountains that resemble lions? Well, we have been observing shapes and patterns in the stars to track the passage of time. I find no interest whatsoever in those who inflate these analogies beyond reason, delving into the darker realms of fiction. I trust the majority of those following this study will fully understand and discern how these silhouettes and shapes seen afar off in the distance are only inanimate molecules in their various states of matter. So, back to these silhouettes of two lions observed in the mountains of Vancouver. The silhouettes of these mountains serve as markers, helping to identify boundaries and differentiate between individual peaks within the mountain range. Early humans in the area pictured their shapes as twin sisters. Later settlers recognized them as lions. Let's now look at the influence of these shapes on the city's culture. First, there is a major bridge that connects the city of Vancouver to North Vancouver, which has been named after these mountain silhouettes. Google Street View depicts two lions at the start of the bridge in Stanley Park. Now, Stanley Park is a beautiful place to visit, to walk around, or bike her seawall paths. The majestic mountain peaks have been fittingly chosen to represent the bridge that connects this park in the city to the foot of the mountains that harbor the lions. Next up is our province's football team. You'll never guess the name of our football team, and you'll probably never guess where they got the name from. There is also this mass media company that has associated itself with the distant shapes seen atop the mountain range. Those wishing to embark on an 8-hour hike to explore these mountains were dropped off at a trailhead, of which also has received a fitting name. This trailhead starts at a bay. From this bay, one can hike up the backside of these two peaks. Obviously, they are not real lions, but rather rocks and trees and snow, depending on the season. The rain and snow from these help feed the Capilano Lake Reservoir, which in turn provides Vancouver with water. I know I'm just stating the obvious. I still find it important to reiterate this. Namely, for those with cognitive disabilities, or for those who pleasure in finding faults and mocking others. Just as the mountains are not real lions, so also the nebula shapes observed in space. If we had the ability to travel to the distant shapes seen from Earth, it would be similar to hiking to the peaks of these two mountains, where, upon arrival, the composition of the nebula would have no resemblance whatsoever to the names which they were bestowed here on Earth. Now, this chapter was inspired by a photographer, Ron Kurtzman. His newsworthy photo of the lions at night captured not just the mountains, but also a spectacular nebula. Once you fully understand this alphabet sky chart, you will uncover the irony of Ron's photo. To know the photographic irony, one must recognize, from a distance, the ancient alphabet constellation, its shape, and its meaning.